every single female in your bloodline is nothing but a disgusting fat. And all of you should have your throat cut. Yeah, you should.
That is the voice of David Brouillette, the alleged ICE agent who shot and killed Joan Sebastian Guerrero in the state of Maine. Local reporting indicated his child was with him in bluey pajamas. Locals captured David's face after he allegedly took Guerrero's life. This video is utterly important for so many.
One witness reported seeing agents dragging him from the car after the shooting, which was also visible in CCTV footage. Another eyewitness told the Portland Press Herald, quote, "He was bleeding profusely from the head. He was talking. He said, I tried to stop. At least 4 bullet holes were seen in the car's windshield. After the shooting, another neighbor said she heard a woman screaming at immigration agents, 'You took her dad, you took her dad.' The woman was with a young girl dressed in blue pajamas, who's believed to be Guerrero's 3-year-old daughter. Another neighbor said, quote, 'I watched a wife fall to her knees looking at her husband's dead body on the ground. I watched a little girl crying with a little pink backpack on because she's never going to see her father again,' unquote.
Brouillette's ex-wife, Ashley, saw his face after the news broke. She reached out to David, and he told her he had shot Guerrero and that he'd acted in self-defense because he claimed Duran tried to hit him with his car. Ashley simply does not believe him. After watching the limited surveillance footage of the incident, Ashley believes her ex-husband David murdered Joan Sebastian Guerrero. He demanded she speak highly of his character. She would, of course, refuse to do so. Rightfully so.
I told him that I would not lie for him. Then I asked him if it was him, if he was the one that did it. He said, yes, it was me. I was there. And that it was a justified shooting.
Can you tell me more about his behavior in the context of your surprise or not being surprised when you got that phone call?
Yeah, I mean, I was shocked, but I wasn't shocked just for the simple fact of I experienced severe domestic violence in my marriage with David throughout the whole year and a half that we were married. I experienced physical, emotional, mental, even financial abuse from him.
A glimpse of his character? One time, Ashley alleges David threw hot water at her while she held their daughter. Another time, he allegedly pointed a gun at her and said he should shoot her in the bathtub. A former friend would reflect to NPR. He had a bad tendency of going out and looking for fights. If he saw something online that he didn't like, that somebody said that he knew, he would go out and start that fight. In addition, Collins also said that David used anti-black racial slurs in high school. Ashley Brouillette would concur. More from NPR. When their marriage had collapsed and they were in the middle of a contentious divorce in the year 2009, she says she reached out to Brouillette's platoon leader in the Maine Army National Guard. She offered to fax over paperwork showing that he had been diagnosed as having bipolar disorder and borderline schizophrenia, but they dismissed it as ravings of a petty ex-wife, she would claim. She would go on the record claiming that CPS, Child Protective Services, they were called because David, again, this is an allegation, David threw his 13-year-old daughter through a glass coffee table. One more note, and then I'll give my take. A second ex-wife, Lucinda, sent a statement to Maine Public. Here's what they printed. If you were to ask me whether I believe David Brouillette is capable of this level of violence, my answer is unequivocally yes. I have feared for a long time that his anger, aggression, escalating behavior would eventually result in severe life-threatening violence, and I often believed that I would be the one on the receiving end of it. He frequently portrayed himself as someone who could manipulate other people, deceive others, and stay in control of difficult situations. When we look back on this period of history, what we will see is the lapses in judgment. What we will see is how a fascistic takeover of our government led to some of the most insane people, some being white supremacists, some being militia members for Trump and for fascism, some being deputized because they were January 6th insurrectionists, being given full reign to go after anybody and everybody who they deemed an enemy or an immigrant, no matter the case. The Supreme Court has allowed racial profiling to be brought back. They are carrying that out every day. Do you think it's a just world when someone is chilling in their car and you see masked thugs come up to them and say, "Are you a citizen? If not, I'm taking you in and we're going to deport you"? Insane. Insane. But what we will also see is the lack of a vetting process, intentionally so. Because Stephen Miller is a racist, as Professor Glaude would say on Democracy Now! He's a white supremacist. There were leaked emails from the Southern Poverty Law Center. No wonder why the Trump administration is trying to discredit them and shut them down and make a mockery of congressional hearings. They got their hands on emails that Stephen Miller sent to VDare, which is a white supremacist outlet, along with Breitbart, another white supremacist outlet. And he would write bylines for some of the staff writers, and he would lean into white supremacist rhetoric. When he is in charge of this stuff, what do you think is going to happen? He doesn't care about the rules. He doesn't care about laws. He has gone over this many times. So who is on their side? Donald Trump said it himself. He loves the poorly educated. So they will deputize the poorly educated to go, "Duh, I absolutely love Trump. I'm going to go kill people for them because that's what they want me to do." Much like the January 6 people even went in there and said, "Yeah, this is what Cruz wants." Cruz is a MAGA senator. They know. They're aware. They don't care if people die. They don't care. What you have is a bunch of racist opportunists who are running the federal government. Donald Trump is in it for himself. He doesn't care about anything. I will always remember a quote that was published via Rolling Stone from a source who said, yeah, he felt like he didn't take advantage enough of his presidency the first go around, so he's doing it. From crypto to the Qatari jet. I mean, we have too much here to understand that that is exactly what is going on. You think he cares about a Colombian man dying? You think he cares about a Venezuelan man dying? No, of course not. But you know who does? Stephen Miller, because he wants it. He relishes in it. And the fact that they intentionally do not have any barriers set up to try and limit people like David Brouillette from joining their ranks, it's depressing, and yet I want to say this very clearly. It is intentional, because this is exactly what they want. Hey, I appreciate you watching. Now, if you can, please do become a channel member by going to youtube.com/TYTSports and clicking the join button. If that's too much for you, you can just go to tyt.com/join to become a member. It helps all of us out here at the Young Turks and keeps our network afloat. In addition, you could follow me on my socials on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. Appreciate the love. Have a great day.